everybody, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. So today I want to talk to you about the immune system. First of all, vitamin D, specifically vitamin D3 supplements. It must be vitamin D3, which is cholecalciferol, same vitamin D as what you would get from intake from the sun. Any vitamin D that you buy that just clearly states on the supplement packet vitamin D is usually going to be a synthetic version of vitamin D. Now, you absorb vitamin D naturally through your skin, but you would need at least 6 hours of really good, strong sunlight on your skin to take in as much vitamin D as it's going to be needed to carry you through the winter. This is why it's best if you do supplement D3 throughout the winter. Now, I know that there's lots of people that have said to me, well, you know, how much do we take? What's safe? What's not? Etc. There's lots and lots of it on YouTube as well, you know, for keeping the immune system protected against any kind of pathogens that might be around today. But I can't stress enough, you need to empower yourself. Take what you feel comfortable with. There is no guidelines to this, only the NHS guidelines. So the NHS guidelines state that it's usually around 600 milligrams or something like that, which you will find a lot of cheap supplements, and it's not expensive, even if you buy normal, you know, a good quality vitamin D3 supplement. But the usual dosage that you get it's just not gonna be enough. Some people add K2 as well. This is good because it just upregulates the D3 and the calcium that is stored from the D3 and delivered helps to regulate and uptake, like I said, the D3 levels. Many studies were conducted back in 2020 to help tackle the global pandemic. And there were significant indications that mortality rates in those who showed very low levels of vitamin D3 had a higher risk of mortality. Recent experiences, recently in conversation with a lady, she told me that whilst she had a kidney and liver function test, they tested a full panel, and her D levels were actually normal, which is good to normal, and her doctor was quite amazed about this, as most of the patients that he sees indicate really low vitamin D levels, especially in the winter, as those levels start to deplete. Anybody with any kind of autoimmune infections, or, you know, autoimmune diseases and infections and things like that, it's a rare thing for you to have good or normal levels. Now, she takes between 8,000 and 10,000 IUs a day, and that's a really, you know, for somebody who's got a good normal range, everybody thinks that, you know, 10,000 IUs is quite a lot. However, depending on your own body, it will depend on how much vitamin D3 you need to take to make sure that your immune system is working optimally. I keep screaming this from the rooftops, you know, and many have been. I've seen so many people saying, please, you know, take vitamin D3. Vitamin C. Let's have a look, because normally people, when they think about the immune system, they think oranges. Let's eat more oranges. And that's true. Whilst it is true, oranges do contain vitamin C, but oranges are not the only fruits. So the vitamin C works on your immune system, but it also builds collagen, elasticity in the skin. Some animals can produce their own vitamin C. They can naturally produce it on their own, but many, like humans, cannot. So we have to rely on the foods that we eat and other sources of vitamin C. These can be obtained via many routes, fruit, veg, many, like I say, believe it's oranges, but if you eat one kiwi, you are getting much, much more vitamin C content from a kiwi fruit than what you would be if you were to have an orange. Supplements. So the supplements for vitamin C, you've got 3 different types. So you've got ascorbic acid, which is like a pure powder of vitamin C that you can take. There's the synthetic variety, which, like an effervescent, will ultimately be excreted very, very quickly from the body. But in the process, they may irritate the kidneys too. I don't particularly like the effervescent type of vitamin C because they can actually cause more inflammation in the gut. The same thing with ascorbic acid. Even the pure ascorbic acid that you can get, that can be quite acidic to many people's stomach linings, and again can actually cause some inflammation. This is why some vitamin C is buffered, what is known as buffered. Now, buffered vitamin C is basically ascorbic acid mixed with bicarbonate soda. So what that does is you've got your ascorbic acid, and then you add the bicarbonate soda, which is like a neutralizer, which is a bit more gentle on the stomach. However, it's still not recommended to take an awful lot because it still can go through you. Another one is liposomal vitamin C. This is not a powder, it's more of a liquid. It's like a gloopy form of vitamin C. But because our cells are protected by a fatty layer, vitamin C can have a job of reaching the part of the cell that's needed to have the desired effect, the greatest impact. So liposomal vitamin C is vitamin C in a liposome. Now, liposomes are very, very tiny. They mimic our own cells. So liposomal vitamin C avoids the digestive system and the HCl acid in the stomach. Therefore, it's bioavailable, it's easier to reach and absorbed into the cells. Personally, I have tried all 3 different types of these supplements that you can get on the market, and none of them really suit me. I'm highly sensitive to any form of kind of ascorbic acid, and much prefer to get my vitamin C through kiwi fruit. Yeah, so a kiwi fruit, oranges, acerola cherries, and I believe there is some vitamin C in, well, there's some vitamin C content in my multivitamin that I take. They're all derived from amla fruit. Zinc can also help to keep your immune system strong because it is necessary for the immune cells functions and cell signaling, so they're talking to each other. A deficiency can lead to a weakened immune system, and then the response of the cell signaling won't talk to each other. Zinc supplements stimulate particularly the immune system and the cells and reduce oxidative stress. For example, a review of 7 studies over the years have demonstrated that between 80 and 92 milligrams per day of zinc may reduce the length of the common cold. And it might reduce it by up to like 33%, which is great news. What's more, zinc supplements significantly reduce the risk of infections and promote the immune system response in order to protect. Ingesting too much zinc, there is a problem, because if you ingest too much, it can cause deficiencies in other nutrients. For example, chronic high ingestion can interfere with various different absorption levels of copper and iron. So reductions in copper and iron levels have been reported in people consuming only moderately high doses of zinc, 60 milligrams per day for 10 weeks. So it could be advisable if you check your you just get a full pan and make sure that you check what your zinc, iron, copper, etc., what all your levels are, and then either look into it yourself as to what you should be getting, or use somebody else that's trusted, like, you know, a naturopath, a nutritionist that knows a lot about nutrients and what they do for your body. So the next one that we're going to talk about is going to be iron. Now, iron's main function is to form hemoglobin, which is red blood cell proteins. Its job is to transport oxygen in the blood, providing oxygen to damaged cells and tissues and the organs where it's needed. This is necessary for the body's ability for fighting diseases and infections, get into the organs to help repair. Symptoms of low iron can be debilitating, and the most concerning point is not many people realise they have low iron intake until they become very, very ill. Having low iron impacts and interferes with your immune function and the healing process. Now, women are more susceptible to this. They have a risk of low iron because they lose far too much blood each month, especially those that already struggle with issues surrounding their monthly periods. We don't get enough supply of iron in our diets, and for women this is vitally important, especially around the monthly period, so that they've got enough to prepare the body ready for when it's losing the blood. The main symptoms of iron deficiency are fatigue, poor concentration, brain fog, easily bruising, insomnia, and most telling tale sign is anemia. I would always advise getting your levels checked before any supplementation of iron, as it can interfere with your stools as well, and it can have a negative impact. Multivitamins. As with all supplements, they are not created equal. I will repeat, they are not created equal. And you can end up spending trawling and thousands of different products and vendors for supplements. Even some of the bigger brand name ones can be synthetic or can contain fillers and binders. I do not have any affiliation with the company I'm about to mention, but this particular company, Time Health, do have really good supplements that are based on plant compounds. They are not synthetic. Multivitamins are good, but the doses are on the moderate side, so that's another thing to bear in mind. Just a quick note on supplements. Synthetics versus natural plant compounds. Synthetic will give you coloured urine. This is because the synthetic chemicals, fillers and binders, etc., will be rejected by the body and excreted rapidly via the urinary tract. This concerns me that it will be making the kidneys work harder. The gut. The gut connection to the immune system. 80% of the immune system lies in the gut, according to Dr. Michael Mosley and the science that he's created, along with many others who have studied the microbiome and the impacts the microbes play in aiding our immune systems. Keeping your good, friendly bacteria active and alive is essential to immunity and health in general. Many fermented products like kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, all give good probiotics, good friendly bacteria, and we feed them with prebiotics. So things like foods like asparagus, broccoli, etc. The food which these good bacteria thrive on. In today's modern fast food era, the gut lining in many people has been compromised. Nasty, vile communities of bacteria have been allowed to develop. These are known as biofilm, which have been allowed to proliferate in the gut and create a sticky plaque-like substance, which can adhere to your intestinal walls. So a diet high in fat, high in salt, the lack of plant-based fiber has changed the whole ecosystem in many people's gut walls. There have been studies into what is termed leaky gut, which is where bad bacteria that's been allowed to overgrow and adhere to the intestinal lining, to the gut wall, eventually proliferate and move through the lining, allowing them to move into different areas of the body which they wouldn't normally reside in. This can impact disease, infections, etc. in the body, inflammation. If this happens, needless to say, it will impact the mechanics of how the immune system will also function. I'm quietly confident more work in the future will enable us to understand this process and the importance of the microbiome and its functions to the overall immune system health. The energetic impact on our immune system. Just like the gut connection with the immune system, there is much more understanding now, although not fully understood or quantified at this stage, about the gut-brain connection. If what we think can impact the gut microbes, in turn the gut can impact the way we think. Now, our emotional state also comes into play. This plays a huge role in how our body functions. Just one study in 2019 that was led by Jennifer Graham Angerland, associate professor from the Pennsylvania State University. She wrote in a study length, and it was a long journal of the brain behavior and immunity, and you can check that out. I'll put a link below. And it's all about how vibrational emotions and frequencies, anger, sadness, jealousy, fear, impact greatly on your immune system. In general, these emotions create inflammatory biomarkers in the body and therefore greater impact the immune system. It flips on the immune switch, which can kick in like it would if it was fighting an infection or if the body was being harmed in some way. This can be troublesome, especially for those who are already suffering with chronic conditions. This is a key area I've been exploring for some time now, and I'll be sure to do a full series on the energetic being and the frequencies and the way they impact us and our health. Many people hear the words energetic frequency and automatically dismiss it as woo-woo or, spiritual nonsense or, something similar. It's just not, it's unscientific, it's not proven. However, the study of bioresonance frequency healings and quantitative research in this field is becoming ever more prevalent in our changing world. It's evolving, and it's evolving our minds, but it's been around for thousands of years. Don't mention Raymond Rife. Oops, I did. However, for the greater good of mankind, we'll go with it as revolutionary research, and we'll pretend it's completely new and new developments. Okay, let's talk about old folklore traditions. What's real? What's not? Going out in the cold, Mother always said, put your coat on. You'll catch a cold. This is an old wives' tale, absolute old wives' tale. However, what has been shown to impact the body relating to a Chinese herbal medicine theory of damp, which is damp, mild conditions, i.e. wet, cold, foggy. This can allow pathogens to naturally grow, i.e. bacteria, etc. If we take in too much bacteria, which we do all the time, our immune system will constantly be in operation and become overwhelmed, which might allow for opportunistic pathogens to run wild in the body. In the Northern Hemisphere, many traditions practice ice bathing as a form of healing, or to improve the impacts on blood flow and circulation and impacts on the immune system. This is true, and many still practice this today. In fact, I know one lady that takes cold showers each morning to wake her body up. Not for the faint-hearted, that's for sure. And you have to have your health conditions, your health condition has to be in a good way. I would seek advice before even trying one of these methods. Hot toddies, I can't speak. Hot toddies, whiskey helps to sleep. Honey soothes the mucous membranes and fights bacteria, and citrus in the lemon breaks up the congestion. So yes, they can help. I would drink these when you're already sick. Garlic keeps the vampires away. Indeed it does. Keeps everybody else away too. This one makes me laugh because I'm forever overloading on the garlic and get moaned at quite a bit. But yes, this one's true also. It does help fight pathogens, along with ginger, which can fight colds and help with, colds and flus. Herbs and plant medicine. Does it work? Many plant compounds are a foundation for allopathic or Western medicine. In their natural state, their original state, they are stable compounds. They work with the body as regulatory, supportive, adaptogenic medicines that will lift and enhance the body, whereas the allopathic Western medicine or pharmaceutical drug medicine is more high impact. This works on a kill, assault, attack basis. In some cases, this is absolutely needed. In some cases, it is too much. Herbs for the immune system, there are thousands. Herbs or plant medicine were given to us to utilize. They are the reason some of the best herbs for medicine are that of invasive, intrusive plants, or what people would class as weeds that grow in abundance. You have the power to take back your immune system and learn to look after it yourself, so that you don't have to rely on outside forces to look after your immune system. You take your power back and you empower yourself. In today's world, we have knowledge at our fingertips, and we can take back our power, empower ourselves to look after our own immune systems. There are so many ways to look after your immune system, and so many ways to take our power back. It starts with you, and it always will. Thank you for watching.